Hey, Bill. Bill, what we're talking about today is all the building that's been happening in Florida. I mean, it's been happening a long time, but the last few years, it's accelerating. Okay?
Okay.
These developers are coming in and, like me, example, Trinity, where I moved to.
Uh-huh.
I moved there because I had farmland and the roads, you lived there before me.
Yep, I live there. Yep.
Okay? And now it's just like they're putting these buildings up, these strip malls, these before they think before the roads, the proper size roads are in, the schools and everything. And I want to talk about today is how some of these developers are. I'm not happy. This is an opinion piece. I'm not happy with what's going on. You don't need any more car washes here. It feels like there's a car wash in every corner, or there's a fast food on every corner. And I don't understand how these politicians and whatever approve these developments without considering traffic and schools and public services. Example, I can tell you a few neighborhoods, including mine, when I first moved here, not even 10, 11 years ago in that neighborhood, I could get out from either direction.
Yeah.
Now, I try to get out, and if I make a left to try to get out of my neighborhood, I'm telling you, you're taking your life in your own hands.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, we'll just put lights on.
No, because it's too great. It's too close to one light because there's another light up there. Mm-hmm. It's just the traffic's too heavy. Yeah, and then it'll bottleneck everything up. The traffic light would not work there.
So I really want you guys to comment on this. Do you think that everything in the old Florida feel is like gone?
Here, yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Maybe, if you go down to Dunedin, Safety Harbor, because, you can't develop there anymore, but a lot of it. So let's consider what is too much, too fast really means, in my opinion.
Okay.
In the meantime, if you like this kind of content, do me a favor, consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel. If you need a real estate agent, my phone number is below. All right. Florida has more homes and apartments coming into the market that changes the leverage of everything. So basically, I want you to talk about a little bit on how there's more homes on the market for sale, but the builders are still building.
Yeah.
And they're competing big time, and they have more power. In my opinion, they have more power than the regular person. I want you to talk about that.
Let's first set the tone so we understand what we're talking about. Not everybody has new construction around them. Mm-hmm. And just because you put up like a small, as an example, in St. Pete, which is, South Pinellas County here in Florida, and there's a new construction townhome community going in St. Pete. But they bought up some houses on a relatively small block, and they put up like 15 or 20 townhomes. So that's very small scale, right? They're just kind of cleaning up an area. Now you go out on, let's say you go east, Pasco County. We're not talking a few houses, we're talking thousands of houses going in a particular subdivision. Some of them have 600. There's another community that's putting in 30,000 homes. So it's huge. But
huge. Crazy.
This is developing, and there's also 70,000 people over in the Wesley Chapel general area, San Antonio, Wesley Chapel area, at the last census. And it's growing, and it shows. We have cancer research places coming in. So these developers they're building these big tracts, and they're selling, and they're closing them out. Like the other day, I told you I was out to do some videos, and they closed the build center out already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, they're selling. So, of course, if people are buying them and people are relocating there, of course they're going to.
And I don't understand. They're like 5 feet apart from each other.
Well, but millions of people are still buying those houses. This is what I think people have to understand. It's like, I know it's an opinion piece, but millions of people are still buying these houses.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's something right for everybody. But,
Exactly.
But here's some stats. Actually, U.S. permits in August were 1.312 million, okay? But it was down 11.1% year over year. So there's actually nationally.
Is that what you said for August?
Yeah, as of August, when the report came.
Mm-hmm.
Over 50% of the 2025 apartment complex completions in South Florida, the 4 biggest metros, we have over a 6-month supply, but they're still building. So they have plenty of inventory, but why are they still building? Is it because they pulled the permits out? Or is it one of those things that I'm reading more and more and watching more, that they're going to build these places and they're going to do rent to own?
Yeah, that's a model.
Rent to own.
Yeah, that's a model. I think there's one of those in Pasco County now. It's a rent to own place. They're building out the houses, and I believe it's a rent to own place. I'll double check that, because that'd be a good little video. We could go do a tour.
Yeah, because right now, the big 4, Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville, and Tampa favor buyers still. Okay? There's more for buyers, okay? Miami shows about 9.7 months supply. Orlando about 7 months supply. Jacksonville and Tampa around 6.3. That's way into buyer's territory. But a lot of people are too scared to buy right now, and so they're going to keep building them because they know eventually it's like a wave.
Well, yeah, it's a cycle. Our data is very far back,
But like the builders got caught with their pants down last time. When we had the great crash with real estate, 2008.
right.
Well, why? I want your opinion. I know it's an opinion piece on this one, but why is the politicians allowing them to build all this stuff when we don't actually have the infrastructure to do it?
Because they're still selling. You have to. It's a balancing act. Think about it. It's a balancing act. You can either raise taxes, expand all these roads before the people get there in hopes that they come, or you can start to bring them, start the developing, right? We feel a little bit of pressure and a little bit of pain. Example would be Wesley Chapel Boulevard, right? Wesley Chapel Boulevard, as on one side of the road was a lot of residential. On the other side of the road, not a lot of residential. There's some, strip malls and stuff like that for some pizzerias and some, mom and pop shops, a gas station, that kind of thing. But small, right? Because Wesley Chapel Boulevard is 1 lane each direction. And then now there's no trees, and there's a new development. And then there's another new development. And there's another strip plaza coming in. And it's starting to expand. But they've expanded Wesley Chapel Boulevard because it's the cut between State Road 56 and 54. So it connects right to the mall, and then that road goes then to the residential areas.
Yeah,
so it's an artery to the shopping.
But why? But I go to Wesley Chapel all the time, and the traffic is stupid. Okay, especially when I'm crossing over the 75 over there. But why is, again, the politicians letting this happen?
Because they've got to bring, if they're going to expand their community,
their tax base,
their community.
Okay.
Where do you think you think the politicians bring the development, or the development comes to the politicians?
No, the developments, but you still have to go to a board and get approval.
But that's, who do you think, the chicken or the egg? What comes first? The developer comes and says, "Oh, look, here's land to develop, because that's how I make my money as a developer. I'm going to develop this. I'm going to come up with this great community plan." Look at like those houses that you just did up there towards River Landing and River's Edge. There's nothing around there. It's just road. Right? There's nothing around there. It's just road. But the roads are very wide. It's 3 lanes each direction, plus turn lanes. Right? So that's pre-built. There's no traffic lights, but you see all the little cuts where they're gonna put traffic lights in eventually. The communities went in. Now there's no Publix, there's no Albertsons, there's no Winn-Dixie, there's no grocery shopping. You gotta drive 15 minutes to get to the closest Publix, because it's the one by my house. Eventually there'll be a Publix there. You bring the people, then you bring the infrastructure. The fire department and the police department are building substations. They just added a new station. So those things are there because the people are there now. But those communities have been there for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but here, like where I live, the road structure, they're building these huge developments. I'll give you an example. We have a road here on Little Road, that they're building huge subdivision on both sides. But that road, I don't see how you can expand it
Well,
any wider.
you're not going to, because those roads weren't built. None of these roads here that we're in, like right now we're in Tarpon Springs. None of these roads were built to develop every inch of land like we have here in Pinellas County. Everything's pretty much built out, and it is what it is. But now, like I just mentioned that townhome thing in St. Pete, right?
Yeah.
The roads are very small in St. Pete. Some of them are old brick roads still from the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And so the roads are much smaller. All of our vehicles are much larger now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more people, but there's nowhere to expand out. So they're going straight up. Like those townhouses are 3-story townhouses because they need the space. So they're 3 floors because they can't expand out. It's a very small plot of land to build but they're going to, instead of having maybe, let's just say 20 single family homes there, now they can have, in family units, now they can have 40. So you just essentially doubled the impact on that little tiny space. That's what's happening everywhere.
Which I disagree with, because when there's a hurricane, even though it's the same strength hurricane as one we had 40 years ago, it does a lot more damage because we're all consolidated in a small area more.
Well, you're taking away the ability for the water to go naturally somewhere else, and you're making it man-made. You're making the path man-made now. We don't have the grass area where the water just naturally percolates down. We make asphalt. So the asphalt has to go then into the storm drain, right? And then the storm drain runs to somewhere and it goes somewhere else. And it's just this trickle effect, and you don't know what the effects are going to be until it's maxed out.
Look at this. There's a neighborhood in Sarasota, okay, last year, maybe a year and a half ago, never got flooded, not even in a flood zone.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Okay? And they built all around them, and it rained really heavy. It had nowhere to go. And they ended up with 4 feet of water?
Yeah. Look, just next time it rains, go out of your house. And if you have gutters, great. I mean, it's a Florida thing, seems to be no gutters. I don't know what the deal is with that.
Yeah.
And we rain all the time. But go out to your house. Look at the unbelievable amount of water that comes shedding off of your roof, either over the edge if you don't have gutters, or if you have gutters, just all the way around your house. That water would naturally go into the grass that used to be there.
Yeah.
Or the soil. It would go into naturally. But now we've blocked that, right?
Yeah, they call it zero lot lines. So basically,
Well, that's not what I mean.
Oh, you're not
No,
talking about
I
zero?
could care less about these stupid lot lines, man. I'm talking the house footprint itself.
Yeah.
It's like you just blocked off. I don't care about the house, the lots between.
talking about the slab.
I'm talking the house itself has, now you don't have that 50 by 75 area of dirt that can just naturally absorb water because
Right.
it's covered with a house. And then you cover the driveway and you cover the roads, right? Because you have to have roads in there. All that used to be soil and trees and land, and the water could go places. That's what I'm talking about. If you
Right.
go out to like USF and you go to their perk labs and you see it, they have some really cool science labs over there that are doing these studies on drainage, which sounds silly and boring, but it's neat because it's porous concrete
Oh, that's cool.
for the roads and for parking lots. So the water there's zero runoff. The water just naturally percolates through. And the big argument with the A is it's expensive, but they're talking about like the oils and everything else that runs off from the vehicles. But then they just go into the oil goes into the storm drain and then it goes out to the bay anyway.
Yeah, but so let's go back to the chicken or the egg that you were
Yeah.
talking about, like who comes first, okay? Yeah, the developers, I agree, come first, and they're like, hey, you got 1,000 acres here, I want to develop, build all these houses. But they could say no because we want natural space right now. And then they're like, oh, we'll get an engineer there, and we'll build a little pond here, a little pond there, a little pond there. But they really, at the end of the day, really don't know what's going to happen during a big storm with those little ponds.
They're speculating.
They're speculating.
Right.
And I just think, what are they greasing each other's hands? Or are they doing
That's
what?
where there's no conspiracy. It's simply one thing.
What is?
They want to build. People want a place to live. People need homes. That's what it boils down to, right? Like, where else are you going to go?
But if it's going to do more damage, just to the environment, and I'm not trying to make this to an environmental thing. I'm just saying.
Because I was like, okay.
I'm just saying it's just like, it's stupid the way all these like strip malls are coming. It's just even the look and feel of Florida is going down the tubes. The old mom and pop restaurants are hard to find now. It feels like a concrete jungle. It's just like when I'm driving around Trinity, where you are, and all that stuff. I just got back from Long Island, and I was in Long Beach, Nassau County, Suffolk County, all that stuff. And I can tell you if somebody blindfolded me and put me there, I couldn't tell you if I was in Florida or if I was in New York, because now they look the same. 10 years ago, when I came here,
not like New York City, just so
no,
we're
I'm
clear.
talking about, that's why I'm saying
the
Long Island.
suburbs, the suburbs,
The suburbs.
Yeah,
It's a concrete jungle. Like everything is concrete. Try to find natural space on Long Island. Yeah, there is some, but at the same time they're making a big, big mistake. And I think less and less people are going to move here. And then I said we are going to have a bad real estate crisis. And I don't know why. Again, could you guys answer this question? Why are the politicians doing it? Why are they doing it? To increase, and then they charge a lot of money, impact fees on all these houses.
yeah. There's impact fees for anything that we do because that's paying for the infrastructure, for the impact on the community. Because you live in a community. I mean, you could go live somewhere rural if you want. You don't have to live in a community. You know what I mean? You can go out to rural Georgia.
So you're saying
You can go out to rural Florida.
So you're saying all the stuff that they're doing here, all this, like if you go down 54, 52, it was farmland. Now it's, car washes.
Before you came to Florida, dude, seriously, McMullen Booth Road that runs up and down by your house.
Yeah.
That wasn't there. That was a dirt road when I was growing up.
I thought it was like a single road, right?
Yeah, it was this dirt road.
Wow.
Not asphalt. That was a dirt road.
Well,
and the school wasn't out there, and it went out to Boot Ranch over there by where the Target is.
Yeah.
There used to be a giant boot there because that was all Boot Ranch. That was a big farm.
Right. So when they built the road and everything, and they built all these houses, they should have stopped at a certain point and saying, okay, it still feels like Florida, and we still have the mom and pop restaurants. All that stuff is gone.
But that's the fault of the developers, the politicians, and the residents. Did anybody go there and say, hey, I want to keep this look and this feel? We have the developers now, at least out on the east side of Pasco, they're starting to do, responsible development. They call it responsible development, where they leave natural green spaces instead of tearing down the natural and then putting in something man-made. They work the neighborhoods around. Like if you go to Estancia, remember over there in the backside, right around the second entrance to my neighborhood?
Yeah,
That's Estancia on that backside where they're doing the last set of new construction over there by the cattle farm.
Yeah.
So, but they're doing what they call responsible, and more of it is an Estancia, but like all those lakes and ponds that are back there, those are natural. Those aren't man-made. They moved the development around all the wetlands because now they're trying to conserve, and they understand that destroying our wetlands and our ecosystems are bad, but it also has detriment to the homes.
Yeah, but Safety Harbor, Dunedin, Tarbert Springs, where we are, try to put a modern building in these towns, okay, or something.
Well,
that's not going to happen.
Well, up until recently, see, that's where the politicians and the citizens in Safety Harbor. There's a difference. Safety Harbor's small. It's a tight-knit group.
No, but I'm just saying,
those citizens
take that model.
Right. I lived in Safety Harbor. Those citizens are those citizens are very political. Not like politics, left, white, blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, we like the feel of this. They don't allow, I think it was, 3 stories? Mm-hmm. They finally let one building in that was a little bit higher. For the longest time, they would not allow commercial into the community. You were not allowed, they wouldn't get a permit if you were a Starbucks. They finally broke, and Starbucks is in there now. Mm-hmm. But they're keeping it still, they want to keep that small town charm. So they allow, I think they said they allowed a percentage is that's the easiest way for me to explain it. But they don't want franchises in there. They want local businesses like Barfly.
Yeah, but why can't they take that model and just make it bigger?
Now you're going to go and so you as a politician in Safety Harbor are going to go and close down somebody's business in Clearwater to keep that. This would have had to start a long time ago.
No, but like Clearwater Beach. Okay, you brought up Clearwater. Let's talk about Clearwater Beach. I was just
used to be amazing.
Amazing. Best pizzeria. the little hotels, two-floor hotels on the Clearwater Beach. You know, great food. And I'm not talking about 60s, 70s. You know, yeah.
This is when I was growing up.
Yeah, I'm talking about long ago.
Yeah.
Now go to Clearwater Beach if you can make it through the traffic. Go to the Circle. Go down the Clearwater Beach because I was just there, and all you see is buildings and franchises. Tall buildings, hotels, franchises, and that's it.
And how did they get in there?
From stupid people that let that get in there. Money.
Right. Because they came in, right?
They offered big money
to the private owners that had private land, and they bought them out.
Right. But then
that's not their fault.
But then the politicians said, sure, go ahead. You want to build a 8-story Holiday Inn? Go for it.
Right. Well, hey, I own this corner over here in Clearwater Beach. Politician, who are you to tell me that I can't build? There was a hotel. There were 3 hotels there. Now there's no hotels there, and I'm going to build a big hotel.
I'm not anti-business. I see both. I see both sides of it.
But that's what I'm saying.
They destroyed it. They literally destroyed it.
Because you've got but that's the nature of the beast. That's what's happened. It's no one particular person's fault. It's not the fault of the private owner who wanted to make money on their house because, let's say they got old or whatever, right? They didn't want to pass it on. And then is it the corporation shouldn't go, well, we don't want to make money because it's the vicious flywheel, right? It just doesn't. It's the flywheel. It takes everybody, and this is one of those things like with Safety Harbor, where the community's involved. And I only know because I lived there for so long.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I'll leave it at this. Sometimes developers should do a few things, like in Hudson, where I have property. We got knocked out with the hurricane, not once, but twice. I mean, the house flooded. There's still houses that haven't been fixed up. Developers are coming in, even if they're building a development, they're coming in and they're knocking down those houses. Okay?
The ranch houses.
The ranch houses.
One-story ranch houses.
Like even on my road, they're knocking down the houses that were not that long ago, $120,000 on a canal. Right. And they're building 1.2, 1.5, $2 million houses now. And I'm talking about they already building them.
Yeah, they're up.
It's called what do you call it?
Gentrification.
Gentrification, yeah.
Gentrification. It's okay.
Gentrification. But when a developer comes in there and says, you know what, all these houses are destroyed. They got destroyed multiple times. The people want to sell. We're going to build to code. But it's expensive to build to code now because it's on the water. So we have to build a $1.5, $2 million house. That I agree with. Because the roads can handle it because it's still the same plot of land and you can't build any more because it's water there, on the water sides. Mm-hmm. So yeah, developers, I agree. When they go in there and they're building these beautiful houses and they're building the codes and some more restaurants are coming in, that's great because the place got wiped out. Mm-hmm. But if you have a place that's really, really functional, really, really good, like where I live, Trinity, why screw it up now?
Because there's land there to do it. Look at all the land there that was hidden back behind on Little Road. Like all that land back there that used to be like woods over there on the way to Home Depot.
This behind my house,
it's ridiculous.
There's thousands of acres.
Yeah, thank God that most of that is non-saleable.
It's non-saleable. That's why I bought the house. I did my research. It's non-sellable, but I still, behind my house, I still have cattle. Like I can wake up in the morning and watch the cattle and I got a big pond. It's beautiful. If anybody ever took that away and built, these crazy things, my wife would flip out. She would totally flip out. Yep. Anyways, that's today's video. Tell us what you think. Do you think developers are really, really screwing up Florida? I really want to know what your opinion is. Thanks for watching this video. Remember, consider subscribing and watch this video right here. I picked it out just for you guys. This is a really good video. Thanks, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.